Hey, what's up? So, over the last couple of weeks, I've been making these designs in my free time, with one exception at the end. And over the last 6 months, I've sort of been building my own ideas of how I'd do Transformers. This is kind of just audio dump of my ideas plus my designs and ideas behind them. Let it be known that I see Transformers more as characters than action figures to bash against each other in a crude attempt of either kissing or violence. So anyway, here's the ideas I've had with little doodles. Do with it what you will. First off, Ron. I don't know, I just want more G1 robots, or just more of a selection, because we don't really have one. He's just a gruff guy that wants to be the toughest way possible because it's fun for him, and that's just a character that sounds really fun, and I wish we had it around, because when designing him, I thought more of like a rounder frame of him being small and then adding spiky bits on top to make him seem tougher, which is also part of the reason why he goes off and does the most dangerous way, because A, it's fun, and B, because he doesn't want people to like underestimate him. Starstroke and Sideswipe, another duo of G1 bots that I really want to return. I know that Sideswipe technically returned in 2015 RID, but without Streaker, did he really? When designing them, I wanted them to mirror each other, leaning into like the twins and pair aspect that was in G1, with Sunny's like spike up being turned in onto Sideswipe, so they kind of like mirror each other, and they have like the matching shoulder colors. Where there's a spike, there's a downturn. The only part that didn't really end up mirroring each other was the boots and arm braces, but they look cool. Cosmo, he is such a buffhead. I've seen so many people that say that, like, oh, Cosmo isn't in disguise, they're a giant UFO. Oh, yes he is. What are you talking about? There's flying saucers everywhere. Look, there's one on that poster, there's one on that sign, there's one on the giant billboard on the side of the wall. Oh, it's everywhere. And it's in cinemas now. Oh my god, when was the last time you saw a Lamborghini? I just think it would be so lovely if Cosmo arrived, saw a bunch of UFOs everywhere, and went, haha, Ultimate acquired. It is everywhere, and I am the most sneaky person alive. Ha ha ha. And he's in denial about it. Anytime that anyone comes up to him, he's like, oh, when was the last time you saw a Lamborghini? When? I have not seen zero Lamborghini. And he's just in denial about so many things. That is how you should write Cosmo, because why has that not been done before? I mainly tweaked his colours to fit a more lo-fi space aesthetic, because he's just a chill dude. Why do people hate Cosmo so much? Chromia is a character that I feel that has been very neglected. We need more buff female Transformers. All I can think of is Cyberverse Cosmo, Clobber, and General Striker. Those are the only three, and we need more of them. Imagine Chromia as like this, as someone bit like thicker. She's meant to be a warrior. She is the protector of Windblade. So I kind of thought, change her on mode to be a bit more bulky. And so, you know, like those 3-wheeled motorbikes? Imagine if she was one of those, and so she was just a bit buffer. Like, she's just buff. Like, that alt mode would suit her well, because it's more strong, it's a bit more rigid, but it's still flexible like Chromia is. It's still fast. I just think it fits a lot more than standard motorcycle. Oh, wheel mohawk. How have we not gotten that a design? Like a wheel as a mohawk? Why don't we have any Transformers with that? That is so awesome in my opinion. That would be such a nice design. Having someone to pair up with Starscream is so good. Like, I know there's Bumblebee, but like, he isn't there to be the main adversary to Starscream, like the opposite. For the Optimus to Megatron, and the Wheeljack to Shockwave, and Blaster to Soundwave. Like, you had this set up in G1, Hasbro. Stop retconning it. There's a reason you do it. It is such a fun dynamic. Friends to enemies works so well. And you built Skyfire. with that in mind. You build Jetfire with that in mind and you mess it up. How? So my idea with Jetfire was to make him sort of mimic Starscream, like before the war. Starscream has this whole King Prince thing, which I tried to take over to Jetfire as well, with like the drooping wings becoming a cape, because that is just one of my favourite character design traits when they go, alright, cape is wings, wings is capes. And like the shoulder pads are meant to resemble ampulets, along with like the round spikes on his knees meant to represent knee guards of royalty, because they would probably do nothing to help. And I just feel like before, with the war writing on, Starscream would see Jetfire wearing the same mods that they got together as like a mockery. Meanwhile, Jetfire just sees it as a reminder of what could still be. Just bring them back. And here's the idea, really, like all races having Heelys, just them skating everywhere, constant races, really hammering in that they are fast and the equivalent of the Seekers. Like there could be this whole episode where they're just like rushing through the holes of the Ark, and it eventually gets to the point where it gets bad, and so then they just kind of go around sulking, and then they just start going stir crazy. And then maybe the same thing happens on the Nemesis for the Seekers, and they're not allowed to fly around and they're all sulky, and then they meet together, make an underground racing group, and it would be so cool. And this could be a reference how in World War II for Christmas, there would be a ceasefire and they'd all just come out of the trenches and play soccer together. Okay, so this is like one of my favourite facts. Okay, Optimus. So here's a fun fact that I've came to the conclusion of. Transformers are space golems. They're space golems from Jewish mythology, creatures made from like the elements brought to life as by magic, acting as a guardian, a helper. That is so cool. It is, and I don't think they did it on purpose. It is so awesome. Anyway, because it's like a resurrected corpse, my idea was that you can like see lines of energy running through like cracks in his armor, and his eyes are like just glowing orbs that just glow out of his eyes that seem like absolutely horrible. That's also harping back to the Jewish golems that have been depicted as giant mounds of mud and clay with just empty eye sockets, and it fits them so well. My idea for Optimus is really based off the TF1, where I know a lot of people have said that, but Orion died like fighting and failing to help, and Primus has primes not for their like pure soul, but as a second chance to do good. So if you try to do something for the good of the Cybertronians, Primus sees that and goes, okay, here's your second chance. But here's the thing, if you die and then come back, are you the same person? This is like the ship of Theseus paradox. And like my entire Optimus idea. What if Optimus doesn't think he's Optimus or even alive anymore? He just thinks he's like the robot of Primus. He is Primus's messenger and nothing else. He has no personality. He has lost all. He is not technically alive, and he's just grappling with the idea of, am I alive or am I not? And that's where his like goal of all life has value. He just sees it as value of, this is what life is, and do I fit into what is life? And so we see Optimus actually going out and socializing instead of just sitting in the background going, I am Optimus, I can have no personality, I am Prime. He is there trying to work out what is a personality and does he still have it. And if he sees like a life form displaying qualities that he doesn't deem as really alive, like not caring, hurting others, he just kind of goes, right, you aren't alive, and if you're not alive, then you don't have purpose. And he is willing to kill people. I just want Optimus to have a character besides, I am leader, I lead. If that's what you want his personality to be, make it interesting. Ironhide. I don't know. Optimus and Ironhide were the last ones I really designed. This one's probably the one I hate the most because I don't really have experience with Ironhide. He just hasn't appeared since Gen 1, and I don't count Michael Bay's as really a good depiction of the Transformer, because what do you mean? You have a Transformer who is famous for shooting out flames. You like flames, you like explosions, Bay. Why did you give him a time gun? A time gun! I just want him to be the second in command, so we don't have the 50th Bumblebee or Ratchet or RC. I have a good reason for this. She's really fucking cool. Here's the other thing. She's not the same fucking character in every fucking appearance she makes. We have empathetic but no bullshitter, maiden in distress, mass murdering assassin, girl boss whose every character trait is related to a male, Valley Girl meets Manic Pixie Girl, Arg, I'm a tough girl from Texas, and cardboard figure of RC. Cyberverse RC is the best I see, and I will die on this hill. Anyone who disagrees can watch episode 35, Perfect Storm, because that just encapsulates what I love about RC. Hot Rod, my boy, my precious boy. This design is mainly based off his more than meets the eyes appearance, but I also had this idea of him sort of being like, if there were to be mental primes that give advice, he would be Solus's sort of child. Their helmets patterns are so similar. Why do people not see that? I see them and go, settling Hot Rod Optimus' son? No, this is son. This is why. I just really wanted to hop back to Solus and give him I gave him those wheelies, and let me be clear, this is not my Rodimus design. Springer is the first real full redesign I did. He's called Springer. He's green. I thought Locust. I think I was inspired by low kicks from Pokemon with their legs behind their back folded up. I just really see how he's even related to being a helicopter, and so I just thought that'd be a nice touch, and the design just kind of went from there. I just imagine as a triple changer, he's tall, Prime or Skyfire level tall, and as someone that's tall, he will have the great man theory, or the idea that he's strong, he's tall, he needs to be the leader. People look up to him, so he literally has to fit into the role in his head, and he just pushes himself into these positions, and he is a good leader. He has experience as a leader, but he can't focus on long-term plans because it stresses him out. Yes, thanks for listening to my geek out. If you listened to this, thanks. If you watched it, super thanks. That means a lot to me. I'm going to be probably making more designs, so if you want to see that, check out my Tumblr on TikTok. I'm open to requests for redesigns or for Transformers, as long as I have an idea of what to do with it. I don't really want to deal with Ironhide again, where it was okay, I have this character, I want to redesign him. I have no idea how. I am gonna do the Decepticons at some point. The problem is they've only got 4, so there's not a lot to go off. Thank you for listening to this video.